Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fight for Our Freedom Radio. And I'm your host, Badbaby. And tonight we have Scott C1 from the Planet X channel, and we are going to be talking about the updated information that he has for us about what he's been finding. And we're also going to allow people to call in and ask questions and talk to Scott, or if you have a comment or something you want to share with us, you're more than welcome to call in, and the number is 1-724-444-7444, then enter 43503 and 1 pound, and then you will be muted, but just push *8, and that will raise your hand, and it will let us know you'd like to ask a question. So on that note, let's get started. How are you doing tonight, Scott?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, we had a pretty good conversation with our doctor of physics. Today we did a live stream for just a little over 2 hours, and you know, there's so many things going on right now. I mean, we could probably do an 8-hour broadcast, and she's basically down to writing about 1 or 2 reports a day because we're finding so many things out. And then we're actually working on a report that's going to be coming out tomorrow on a live stream where we've caught NASA once again actually putting up fake information on one of the satellite stereo sites where we view the sun, and they're actually putting objects into the imaging to make us think that what we're looking at is Saturn and Mercury zipping across the screen, when in actuality, that's a physical impossibility. And what we're seeing in that imaging is something other than Mercury. That is a fact. The other day we worked on it for probably 6 hours, back and forth on the computer on a video conference. And there's no doubt about it. They're at the point right now where they are trying to hide so much from us right now. But, you know, what are you going to do? You have to keep on plugging away day in and day out. And, getting those photographs the day before on May 10th that I took through the telescope were just still very jaw-dropping. I'm pretty amazed at at what I captured there.
Okay, we do have a couple of callers. I've got you guys muted. If you wish to ask a question or speak with Scott, please push *8 so that I know if you want to participate. I have to keep other callers muted because we get background noise and backfeed. So we will allow you to speak. Just push *8 if you want to speak. Scott, it's the weather is like around the world is like out of its mind. I was going through a video the other day that someone had put together about all the flooding, and I can't believe in India and Colombia and Sri Lanka and Japan and China and all these storms and the flooding and people that are missing. You know, there's like 500 people dead and 200 still missing, and it's just unreal.
Yeah, it's getting to the point. The weather situations are very, very bad. I keep track of all of the weather on a daily basis. I got attracted to weather in general, living 22 years in South Florida. Going through my first hurricane at age 19, well, that really freaked me out. I was very, very, very scared at what was occurring. And from that point on, I just found this fascination with weather, and I started paying close attention to the weather, started learning about it. And weather forecasting in South Florida is pretty scientific because of the storms and things of that nature. And just over the years, I just became, more and more and more interested in it. And as time went on with the development of the internet and things of that nature, and more things, coming online, I just got more and more interested in it and started to study it. And, lo and behold, here we are today. It's paying off because I knew that some of these storms in the South Pacific were going to form. The one that hit Queensland, Australia, weeks back, and then now this Cyclone Donna and these other tropical depressions, these storms are actually forming much, much earlier than they actually should be. The intensification of these storms, these cyclones, they're off the chart, and our jet stream is completely destroyed.
Yeah, and Scott, when those tornadoes hit down there in Texas, they I saw a video where two of them went together and made one big giant one, and that was the one that really piqued my interest because I don't know if you heard about this, but there was actually a trailer that was picked up in a trailer park with a whole family in it, and they were carried 130 miles away and landed their trailer down on the ground, and they survived it.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about having guardian angels, eh?
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's real scary.
Yeah,
tornadoes.
The first thing that came to mind was the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, tornadoes are one thing that I am afraid of, because those things, they come out of nowhere. A hurricane, cyclone, you have days, where you're watching it. But yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to
and at the same time when that was going on in Texas, we were having the severe rain and flooding all over the country, and I actually saw another video where somebody's house came right off the foundation, floated down the river, and smashed into a bridge and just broke into a million pieces.
Oh, my Lord.
And that was a log cabin type house. It was one of those new log cabin type houses, and these people were going, oh my God, it's going to hit the bridge, and it just broke into a million pieces. And, that stuff just breaks my heart because, we might be having our own problems. Everybody has their own problems, but these people are losing their homes. They're losing everything that they worked for all their life. Even the homes that don't wash away, everything that's in those houses that are flooded up to the peak of the roof is garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a very sad situation that's going on around the world. There are more and more people each and every day that are losing their lives around the world, and people don't realize it. People don't realize what's happening because, mainstream media, they're not covering it.
No, they aren't.
It's a big problem.
And here's another big thing. Facebook has changed their if they think you're posting fake news, they'll block you. That's what they did to you. They blocked you for 30 days. And I had a friend come in the other day and said that they were back from being spanked by Facebook. And I said, what did you do? And they said, well, anything you post about Nubaru or Planet X, they consider fake news now. So they're suspending your account for 30 days.
Yeah, that's what they did to me.
You can see your page, but you can't write on it,
Are you
right?
still with me? I'm getting some real bad feedback on your end.
You sound garbled. Are you still with me?
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm still here.
but you sound real garbled.
Yeah, all of a sudden, this just started.
Well, we just had someone call in from New York, and then they hung up, and that was when it started. Well, let's see if it clears up. Let me see if I can adjust something here. How's that? Talk a minute.
Go back.
No, you're still having problems.
Right now.
You want me to hang up and call you back?
If you want to, yeah, you could try that.
Well, wait a minute. You're starting to. Can you guys still hear Scott?
Yes, I can.
Somebody
Cleared up.
type in the chat and let me know if you guys can hear us. You are worse, Scott. Scott says so you're worse. Oh, if I hang up, I'm going to have to. I won't be in the chat room, or I won't be in the. I'll have to call back in to both numbers, but I will. I wish I had somebody else here that would talk for a few minutes, so we don't have any dead air. Who's here?
My name's Chris.
We could hear the guest.
Okay, Chris, could you talk for a few minutes? I don't know if you know anything about what we're talking about, but could you go ahead and talk for a minute while I hang up and try to call him back?
Yes, that'll be fine.
It's fine now.
Wait a minute. Are you okay now, Scott?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine now. It might have been a little glitch going on.
Wow. Okay, Chris, well, since you're unmuted, did you have something you'd like to speak to Scott about?
Yes, actually I did. I've been trying to send you emails, Scott, for about 3 months now. I've been studying earthquakes around the world, and I found some very scary stuff. Very scary.
Well, let's hear about it. Let's hear about it. I'm sorry about the emails. You know, I get probably anywhere between 500 to 1,000 emails a day, and
right.
You know, I don't employ a bunch of people to help me out, so it takes me a long time, and with everything going on around the world,
right.
You know, my 10-hour days, they went to 16-hour days. And I get through, I don't know, maybe about 100 emails a day.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Google did something to my email where one day I woke up, I had 6,000 emails.
Holy crap.
They emptied my entire email.
Scott, are you on a headset? Can you try to adjust your headset? Because you're still coming in a little bit garbled.
Yeah, I'm actually using a microphone. It's probably the internet connection.
I think it is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Scott.
you, but people are typing that you still sound a little bit. You're getting better, they said, but you sound a little bit garbled. Now they said that you're breaking up again.
Well, you know.
So Chris, when you send, you want to try to resend Scott this email and put something in the subject so that he knows it's you?
Goes back and forth.
Yes, but what I was saying, Scott, is I've been monitoring the earthquakes since about December, and I live in the New Madrid fault zone, and it's been kind of shaky here. Like, most people don't notice it, but I'm noticing ground cracks and even, like, pretty much the land splitting apart in places. And I just live on the other side of the Red River, so Caddo Lake ain't far from here.
Can I ask you a question, Chris?
Yes.
Are you hearing any, booming sounds or, you know, any...
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever researched when the New Madrid earthquake popped off back in the 1800s, what happened?
1811 and 1812, I have, yes.
And do you smell methane gas at all?
Yes, I've been smelling methane. I've noticed a lot of weird animal movements, and even bugs swarming just before there's a major earthquake, like the 6.7 yesterday, yesterday in central Chile.
Wow. So sounds like it's getting ready to pop off there, doesn't it, Scott?
Yes, but I've plotted all the earthquakes back.
We have a lot of
things
going on right now that are dealing with the sun. All of the internal pressure that's been building for almost a year, eventually pounded every single day by these charged particles whenever they refer to the solar wind.
Yes.
It's actually not a wind as we know it, but it is a stream of these very heavily charged particles from the sun, and they do penetrate the core of the earth.
We got a really bad connection with you, Scott. We can barely understand you.
Yeah, it's kind of garbled. I think it's actually the.
Let me try to recall you back.
I'll stay with you, Scott.
Hang in there, people. We'll try to reconnect.
Can you hear me, Scott?
Okay, Chris, I'm back. People are writing in the chat. They want you to keep talking and tell your story. And someone wants to know what methane gas smells like. So while you're telling them what methane gas smells like, I will get on the other line and try to get Scott in here.
Okay. Well, basically, it's a sweet but acrid smell at the same time. It leaves a taste in your mouth. And I've been noticing it for at least 4 weeks. I'm trying to get this email sent to Scott real quick.
4 weeks.
Well, I can just give you the link if you want.
Okay, we're back, you guys. Go ahead, Scott, say something.
Okay, you know what? I did notice there was one thing that was not set, and it was on this telephone option. So I should be sounding much, much better.
You still sound a little bit garbled, but we can understand it.
Yeah, I can understand you better.
Okay, if you're on the phone, people, Southeast Michigan, Pennsylvania, those people that are on the phone that are muted, if you wish to speak, push *8 and we'll get to you. That'll raise your hand and let me know you want to talk. Okay, Chris, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just about to send this link to Scott real quick so he can view this crap I made. I used all
I turned up some of the levels on mine.
I hear much better.
Are you able to hear me a little bit better? I turned up the levels on the mic.
Yes, that's a little bit better.
Much better.
Okay, again, if you're on the phone, we're going to let Chris finish speaking. Go ahead and push *8, and that'll raise your hand, and we will take you in order.
Okay.
Okay, are you done, Chris?
Yes. I just Seen it. Okay, but basically, since 2/28 of 2017 to was 4 days ago, which was it was the 5/4/2017. Between that timeline, there was 30,000 earthquakes around the world, and when you see this map, Scott, it's gonna blow your mind. I mean, places that don't have earthquakes are having them. I mean,
well, there was an earthquake in southwestern Pennsylvania, I think less than 48 hours ago. USGS labeled it as it went off in Panhandle. Well, clearly the epicenter was in Pennsylvania. I did a video or a report about it today. One thing that I'm worried about, pressure flowing along the western edge of the Appalachian Mountains directly up into the northeast, specifically West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and dealing with all of these fracking wells.
Yeah, fracking is definitely not a good thing. I mean, you punch a hole in the ground and you fill it full of salt water. That is not a good combination. I mean, eventually when the ground separates, that water seeps down, and eventually if it ends up getting inside the actual fault, you get steam, gas explosions.
Scott, you're still breaking up. You guys can hear me okay, right?
Like his connection's pretty bad, too.
Okay, now you're clear. Whatever you did, you're clear now. It goes back and forth.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, this damn internet, I'll tell you.
Well, thank God
it's
you're
been
clear
screwy
for the moment.
Have you noticed the internet being screwy for the past, at least a week?
It seems like everything's screwy. Even the way people are acting, like they're all stressed out. And it's really I think the frequencies on the planet are really getting wacko. But the thing is, what you're describing, Chris, are the exact same things that were in the newspapers before the Great New Madrid earthquake back then. People were hearing the loud booms, they were smelling methane gas, and they noticed that the animals are acting weird.
All right, Scott, I just resent the link. It didn't send the first time. But yes, I actually have a little history about that. My great-great-grandfather, or great-great-great-great-grandfather, was Chief Massasoit of the Wampanoag Indians, so known as Yellow Feather. But he was the Indian chief at the first Thanksgiving.
We're having some real problems.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
But my great-great-great-grandfather was the chief that bartered with the Pilgrims that came over. And one of his sons was actually Tecumseh, or Tecumseh, the same one that predicted the New Madrid earthquakes. Was 1 year before the date.
Well, do you plan on staying around there and waiting for the earthquake, or you plan on fleeing the area, Chris?
Actually, what I figured out from looking at geodata and everything, the iron plate that I sit on is probably the safest place I want to be. Everything around me is sand, and during the Great New Madrid earthquake, sand moved like water. It was liquid sand. It was basically quicksand, but it was fast-moving, There were sand explosions, sand volcanoes or sandburrs. I mean, it moved the Mississippi backwards, and
Yeah, I know it did.
the sheer amount of power that would take.
Well, keep us updated with what's going on.
I will.
We're going to have Scott coming on every 2 weeks now, so we'll be more than glad to have you call back in a couple weeks and keep us updated with what's going on down there.
Right. Scott, did you get that email?
The situation he's talking about is called liquefaction. Well, I can't get into my email right now. I'm using my computer right now. If I start switching screens,
right, it starts slowing down.
With this internet thing going on, I don't want to lose the connection that we have here. But what he's referring to, I mean, that's called liquefaction. You start getting these rumbling, the ground will literally turn to what looks like liquid.
Yes.
That's a very, very serious situation.
Yes, it is. And I mean, the one in West Virginia yesterday. There was one in Georgia, one just on the edge of where I live, right on the East Texas side. Just above.
I've been noticing that, and they keep removing a lot of these earthquakes. Also, they removed the whole swarm of earthquakes in the area the day before yesterday. They just literally removed them from the USGS feed.
Yep. But I'll send you. My name's Chris Arbogast, by the way, and I'll send you my name and everything. So if you want to get in contact with me, because I've got a lot more information.
Yeah, that sounds good, Chris. Maybe we could do a live feed, and I could have you on, and maybe we could have you on with our doctor of physics.
Yes.
Discuss that, because I think right now, between the weather and earthquakes, these are our two biggest factors and our two biggest threats right now. That's just my opinion, but
right.
I mean, that's all we're seeing right now is crazy weather and earthquakes.
Okay. Well, thank you, Chris, for calling in, and we appreciate it. We have to move on, though. We have people waiting.
Right. I understand.
Okay.
But thank you so much for taking my call.
Oh,
thank you, Scott.
We appreciate you calling in and sharing with us. This is how we find out things are going on, when people tell us what's going on in their area. So I'm going to mute you back, and
okay.
You can raise your hand later if you want to stick around if you think of something. But let's give some other people a chance.
All right. I listen to every one of Scott's videos every day.
Oh yeah, so do I.
Hey, thank you, brother.
No problem, man. Thank you for all your help.
Stay safe down there.
You too.
Okay, we're going to move on to Southeast Michigan, and then West Pennsylvania will be next. If anybody else on the phone wishes to speak to Scott, please push *8, and that will raise your hand, and they go numbered. Okay, Southeast Michigan. Trying to get you unmuted. Just hang in there. Hello, welcome to the show. Do you have a question or a comment for Scott?
Hello. I've actually been following Planet X for a really long time now. I go by Sega Humanity on YouTube. And I had seen a picture today from the U.S. Department of Interior, and they say it's the sun going down, but in the clouds you can see a red orb. And where the cloud ends, it gets cut off. Because lately all I've seen is pictures where the clouds illuminate the UV from the neighboring red dwarf coming in. And I got that picture if you guys want me to send it to you.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Yeah, absolutely. Are you on a speakerphone? We're having a little bit of a hard time hearing you.
I'm actually got a headset on right now.
Okay.
Can you put your mic a little closer to your mouth, because you sound like you're real far away?
How about now?
He is. He's in East Michigan.
Well, he's far away from you, Scott, but he's not far away from
Can you
me.
hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there you go. A lot better.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, but my name is John. I go by Saving Humanity on Twitter and YouTube.
I would definitely like to see that photograph. You know, I took some amazing photographs just by chance 2 days ago using my telescope and some, camera equipment and laptop. And there's a lot of weird things going on with the where our sun is rising, where our sun is setting. I've been charting sunrises since the beginning of the year. And what I've noticed, as soon as we hit the spring solstice, the sun is rising, it seems to me, about 20 to 30 minutes later than it actually should. Now,
yeah.
BP Earthwatch, great YouTube channel, he did a whole video on this the other day. And he was talking about the tilt of the Earth and what has happened since some of these very, very large earthquakes, and how they've actually rocked the Earth, and they've basically displaced us somewhat. So that could be a reason why, the sunrise is off in its timing. And I guess as far as our clocks go, our digital time, we wristwatches anymore. You just look at your cell phone. So they adjust everything, with your technology as far as time goes. But I would definitely like to see that photograph.
Yeah, I'm Saving Humanity 7 on Twitter. You could follow me, and I'll follow you back and send you a message. Send it to you if you're on Twitter.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, boy, I tell you, Badbaby, we do have a bad internet connection.
Well, you're sounding okay now. You're not.
I got an update on the whole internet thing too. Lately, there's been a lot of hacking going on. Right now, currently, 76 countries are being hacked right now as we speak. And it's been happening for over the past week.
Yeah, I saw that information today.
Yeah, we're having a hard time hearing you, honey. So, Scott, do you just want him to try to email you that information?
Yeah, you could send it to the Nibiru Planet X 2016 at Yeah, and I'll definitely take a look at it.
Okay, well, thank you, Southeast Michigan, for calling in. And you stay safe over there. And I'm hearing a bad echo. Let's move on. West Pennsylvania. Whoops. Welcome to the show, West Pennsylvania. You have a comment or a question for Scott?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yes, Pam from Pittsburgh again. How are you?
Hey there, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm doing pretty good.
Been listening to all your videos and recordings you've been showing. I really appreciate it much. I don't miss a day. I had something that had been on my mind for a while, and maybe you can answer it for me. I'm not too sure, or maybe you can have your physicist to answer it, because every night there's an area in the sky near my house, and it used to be off in the distance, but it's gotten closer and closer, and it's like almost upon the house now, and the sky does not get dark. It stays light all night long. I don't care what time of the night. It could be 3 a.m. in the morning, and it just stays that way. And then you look on the other side of the street, across the street, and it's darker. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I don't know if it's from these planets. I don't know if it's because NASA might be doing something up there, putting out false light. I don't know what it is, but it's gotten closer since last week. And, you can look out my window, open up the door, and it reminds me like when the sky, just before the sun comes up, how it starts getting real light out. It just stays that way. It does not get dark.
Yes. You're not the only one that is noticing that. There's a couple other YouTube channels that have actually reported on that, and I've been getting a bunch of emails, probably for the last 2 months, this situation, and I see it myself, or seeing it around the world. Matter of fact, there's a guy on YouTube, he goes by Richie from Boston. He reports on all kinds of things, great YouTube channel. He was reporting on this the other day, and he was actually showing video footage of it where you look on one side, it's pitch black, it's dark outside, but you look on one side and you can still see this faint orange color. I don't know if that's some type of reflection from the sun, possibly these damn sun simulators they have up there, because we know they have them up there. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
We're thinking, though, the possibilities of, the sun actually reflecting off of these other substellar objects that are in our solar system. So, that's kind of up in the air right now because we don't have access to the satellites in space that NASA does. So they know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for us to try to figure it out because they're keeping everything from us. But you're not the only one that's been seeing that. Matter of fact, because you're calling in from Pittsburgh.
It's almost eerie. It almost looks like something's going to just rise up over there, and all of a sudden you're just going to see it. I mean, it's just weird. And another thing, last week we noticed, my son and I'm looking out the window, and I go outside. I said, what in the world is going on with this sun? Now, I don't know if it's the simulator, too, that he had been talking about, but I said, am I imagining something, or does it look like the sun got closer to the earth? I mean, that thing looked like it smacked you in the face. And I'm looking at it, and I called my son out. He's looking at it. He said, he said, yeah, Mom, it looks closer. I don't know if it's something, like I said, they're doing to make it look that way. I know that they're trying to block out. I said, they're probably up there trying to block out a lot of stuff because you look at it, and it don't look right. I've never seen the sun look just like headlights, and it's just
exactly.
And it looked really close, and it was hot. It hit your skin, and you feel like you're getting burned.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been out on my mower the last few days. And it's been like it's cold here, but my skin feels like it's being burned.
Yeah,
that's happening all over the world.
I didn't understand about it looking like it was getting closer. I said, this is unreal.
I mean, we are, the Earth is tilting. This is my personal opinion. The Earth is tilting more than normal, but we are moving closer and closer to the summer solstice, which would, bring the effect of the sun, being closer, being higher in the sky and things of that nature. But there are way too many people around the world that are reporting on what is exactly happening. People's skin that live in different areas of the world, their skin is burning. And Mike from around the world, he just did a report on it today out of Phoenix, Arizona, showing these cases of people's skin peeling off of their body, a vinyl siding on houses melting, paint on cars being damaged, stop signs, street signs fading to white because of the UV rays. Now, we've seen this influx in UV 4 months now. It's been off the chart, and it's not going to end. But there's one thing that I did want to mention to you since you're calling out of Pittsburgh. You know where Washington, PA is, correct?
Correct.
Do you know that there was an earthquake right outside of Washington the other day?
Nope, I sure didn't.
Yep,
no,
2.3, right out between Washington and the West Virginia state line.
I sure didn't. I know. I've been walking the grounds around here praying, asking God to keep it, because I feel things in my spirit, things like that that's going to occur. And a couple of weeks ago, I was just walking the grounds and praying, Lord, these earthquakes and uphold us, and I didn't know that had even happened. But
they actually tried to hide that a little bit. They said that the earthquake were in West Virginia. But as I looked at the information, the earthquake was, I'd say about maybe 10 miles west of Washington, Pennsylvania, right off of Interstate 70, right before you hit the West Virginia line.
Oh, wow.
There's a couple of small communities out there, Plainsville and Taylorstown. And yes, indeed. And you're probably going to feel more earthquakes in the upcoming months in the West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio area. And that's just an absolute fact. This pressure is transferring from the West Coast. And it's going to make its way right up the west side of the Appalachian Mountains, right into southwestern Pennsylvania. Definitely going to happen.
Okay, Scott, you were garbling a little bit there again, but then you cleared up. Well, thank you, Hun, for calling in, and we're going to move on to the next caller.
All right, and thank you for giving me that time.
You're quite welcome. You stay safe down there.
No problem. Take care.
Okay.
Okay, we have two people that have raised their hands so far. We have other callers. I don't know if you people know, but you have to push *8 to raise your hand if you wish to speak to Scott, so that I can get you in line for who's next.
I think our caller was ruffling some papers around.
Yeah, I think she was too. Okay, New York, welcome to the show. You have a question or a comment for Scott?
Hey, how you doing? This is KJ from New York City.
What's happening, KJ?
All right. Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank you for all you do. I've been following you for quite a while, and I'm kind of the guy from New York City who likes to definitely get in touch with people like yourself and other guys out there and give them my perspective of what's going on from where I am. First of all, the sun is definitely, here's a little background. My family is Dalton, as in the Dalton minimum. That's basically my dad's family side. And it looks like we're pretty much approaching another same situation as with the Dalton minimum, because what's going on right now is the cosmic rays are really intensifying because of the low amount of sunspot energy, and it's definitely putting us into a very similar situation, which of course then is going to create more earthquake activity. And when that happened back then, at that point, there were some pretty massive explosions of volcanoes, and there are some volcanoes actually in Peru right now that are blowing up, and the media is not covering it at all. There's one that's been spewing now for about 13 days in a row, and it's like total blackout. They don't even want to discuss it. They don't want to talk about it. It's pretty insane. The sun is definitely, and now I'm in New York, and it hasn't even warmed up. We've been actually cool, which is kind of odd. But I've been outside working and doing some stuff where I am, and, and I tan fairly well. But I tell you, the sun is so intense. I've gotten some pretty harsh sunburn just being out in minimal amount of time and not even in full sunny days. So there's some definite serious activity going on that most people are very unaware of, that a lot has to do with what's going on with the sun, the electromagnetic energy. I work in technology, and we just came out of Mercury in retrograde. It was a nightmare for me in my industry. I literally had components just completely going ballistic, not working properly. The internet has been going down all over the place. They don't want to talk about that. Here in New York, we've had massive subway and train power and switching issues, which have been reported, and they try to they don't want to say who's at fault and who's to blame, because they're using 1930s technology, literally, to run the subways and the train systems in New York. And they're just getting completely fried from what's going on with the solar activity.
That's very dangerous. I didn't realize their subway technology was that bad.
1930s. They just had a girl the other morning. They actually let her. Now, the West 4th station is a station I basically grew up with. It's still a dump, and they let her go back into the control room, and it literally looks like something from a Frankenstein movie. She was so overwhelmed, she couldn't believe it. She was like, I can't believe this is the technology is running the subway system in New York, and it's literally like made of brass with all this big knobs, and it was insane. It looked like something from like a Frankenstein movie. And all of the whole system, Amtrak, all of it, it's so antiquated. And we're not even into it yet. We're at the beginning of what's going to happen with the sun over the next couple months, within the course of the next year. We basically have a CME, which they're calling a stealth. I love this stealth CME. Earth-facing that occurred a couple days ago, and basically everyone in my business, in technology and electronics, everyone's bracing themselves for the next 5 to 6 days, because again,
yeah, I'd be looking between the 16th and the 19th,
right,
possibly
right.
Even a little bit sooner than that.
Right. Most were saying the 15th through the 18th, so, of course, within that range of window, without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, what happened, we had a massive blackout here. We had one that happened a couple weeks ago. Simultaneously on the East Coast and the West Coast and throughout cities. I mean, it's just, for the fact that they won't even address how that occurred, what happened. And I have friends who work the subway system. I said to my friend, what happened? He just looked at me, deadpan face. He said, they don't know. So they don't even know what caused it. They were able to bring the system back up on, but it was literally shut down, an entire line, for about 9 hours. I mean, in New York, if a line shut down for 9 minutes, people lose their minds. So...
yeah.
but every night for the past 3 months on the news, there's been a story about New Jersey, Amtrak, Long Island Railroad, our subway system just having switching, they call it switching problems. Yeah, because they're getting fried. These things are getting fried. And the whole system is going to collapse.
Well,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can tell you this much. During the situation that you're referring to, when the blackouts occurred on the East Coast and the West Coast, all over the world, they just went unreported. And
I know.
I keep track of everything going on with the sun. I analyze all kinds of information coming in from NOAA and sources. And days before this occurred, people were seeing the aurora all the way as far as Colorado.
Yeah, I heard there were some people in Minnesota.
We were actually under what they said was a small geomagnetic storm.
Right.
I was analyzing the data. It was not a small geomagnetic storm.
Yeah.
It was a large one.
Yeah. I mean,
and they just basically lied.
Yeah. I subscribe to, I'm sure you're familiar with spaceweather.com, and they give incredible updates about anything that's going on. So, I mean, the information is there. And at a certain point, and like today, I just want to mention about what was spoken about today about this supposed hacking of all of these companies, which technically was used from NSA ability to do so. To me, this is a giant false flag, and they're going to take down the system. They're going to blame it on hackers, and I foresee that's going to happen, because they're going to have to eventually shut down the internet once it gets to a point where it's so obvious what's going on. Because if they don't answer to it, and once anything that's going to show up from outer space starts appearing more so in the sky, there's just going to be no denying it. And I think that's what they want to use this opportunity to blame hackers or the Russians or whoever the boogeyman is now. But I think it's all part of a huge false flag situation that's going to make 9/11 look like a warm-up.
Yeah, that's true. Now, here's another situation, and I agree with you 100% on what you're saying. Early on last year, I have a lot of friends in a lot of places, and that we're going to face is definitely the false flag information, like you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the situations that occurred with these big blackouts, a lot of it is intentional, because if they know that we are about to get hit with a geomagnetic force, in order to save your electrical structure, you have to shut it down.
Right.
If you shut it down and disconnect it, then you will not suffer that massive damage that will take months to repair. There is a high possibility that that what they did in New York and on the West Coast was probably intentional. They probably intentionally shut things down till the geomagnetic force, the energy went by. They are able to detect this, and whenever I saw this situation arising in New York, and I mean, come on, man, New York uses the most electricity on the East Coast than anybody, and they would be the ones mostly at risk for it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we're going to start to see more and more of this being done intentionally.
Right. And it's ironic that then just a couple days afterwards, they announced that they were conducting this exercise, as they called it, called Operation Gotham, which was basically a exercise to drill for if somebody exploded a nuclear device or that created an EMP effect over the bridge leading from Manhattan to New Jersey. I mean, it's just like you can't make this stuff up, even if you try.
And usually when they're running drills like that, it's that's a lot of times when they're running a drill, that's when it goes down.
Of course. I mean, it makes perfect sense, because you've got the guise of, we're doing the drill, and then, and it's, to me, it's always about creating. It's like they're always creating or setting up the boogeyman scenario. So they've got to create this boogeyman and then put him in place and then take him out and then blame him for the perfect excuse to do exactly whatever it is their agenda is. And, I mean, at this point, if people aren't smart enough to understand that, I don't know what to tell you. So be it. But as somebody
I think it's subliminally putting the thought in everybody's mind so that they accept it when it happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely think there's part of that, too. I think there's even deeper, it's funny how everybody thinks with the chemtrailing that they're spraying lithium and they're spraying things of that nature. I personally don't think they're doing it that way. I think they're spraying to deflect so we don't see really what's going on out in space. But there's so many people on prescription drugs these days, especially antidepressants, so I think that in itself would probably be enough for most people to just, la their way through every day without even thinking about anything. So, and as somebody who doesn't take prescription drugs, I have a obvious clear mind, and, and I just see, like, how so many people, no matter what you tell them, they're just going through, like, their paces, like everything's okay in their head. And it's bizarre. It's like they don't even want to accept the possibility that, there's these things going on that really it's all making sense if you connect the dots, but I guess they have a dot blocker built into this chemical that they're ingesting. I don't know.
Well, I think you're right on the right track, and there's more credence to what you're saying than you actually think. This is very devious what's being done. Going back to the prescription drugs, and our doctor of physics,
right,
actually did a lot of research on the effects of the sun and this solar energy and this cosmic energy on the brain, on the human body, and there are a lot of people that are very, very sensitive to some of this that is occurring. And it can also weird things like leading to gastrointestinal problems when we are under a very heavy solar wind. Now, you wouldn't think that would affect your gastrointestinal system. You wouldn't think that it would affect your muscles and your joints. But first and foremost, it definitely affects your brain. And people that are on prescription drugs, people that do suffer from bipolarism, mental issues, things of that nature, they are at risk even more. Because if you think about it, the word bipolar, well, how many poles do we have on the Earth? 2. How many poles do we have on every planet and the sun? 2. So these people are affected. It can cause severe anxiety, severe depression, and then, this is probably going to freak you out, for people that, have a strong mind, like myself and you, it intensifies your thought process. It is almost like these cosmic rays are awakening people.
Right.
Now, I know that whenever we have these situations with the solar wind and it's very heavy over 1.5 million miles per hour, it does affect me.
Right.
I'm one who actually has the gastrointestinal issues. The day after Christmas, on the Northeast in Pittsburgh, it was 62 degrees.
Oh, I know.
The day after Christmas, I was running around in shorts.
Yeah, I went for a nice bike ride in New York around that time too. So I know.
Yeah, it was beautiful. But something affected me, and I was literally crippled for 3 days. Muscle ache, headache, pain in my joints.
When you're going through that, you need to take a detox bath.
Detox? I couldn't even get up. I would have drowned in my detox.
I have the same issues. It's the ingestion of the nanobots and the chemtrails. So if you can get in a bathtub with a cup of Epsom salt, a cup of baking soda, and 2/3 of a cup of ground ginger, it will pull a lot of that achy feeling out of you.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I would highly recommend, and I do it normally. I do ginger and garlic because what most people don't realize is your gut, okay, is basically your second brain, and you have all of this flora within your gut. And like anything, it can be affected. And when we have these solar minimums like we're going through right now, what happens is there's an increased level of radiation that's penetrating us. So, and that has to do with, of course, the sun. Like I said, I'm always outside. I'm always doing stuff. I'm one of those guys who can gradually get tan. It doesn't affect me so much, but it was so bizarre that, like, even early spring, like late winter, I was getting like a sunburn on the back of my neck. I couldn't believe it. I came in the house, and I'm like, why does my neck sting? And I look, and I'm like, oh, my God. Like, I'm like microwave, literally.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. It was this red intensity, and it really hurt. And I'm like, it was the end of February, March. I'm like, this is not normal. This is like a summer sun feeling. But the other thing, like,
definitely had a very unusual winter.
Oh, well, we had no winter here in New York City. We literally had 1.2 snowstorms. We had no winter. There were literally at least a week out of each month throughout winter where it was like 58, maybe 60 degrees. I could ride my bike. I could go out and do. It's bizarre. I mean, I know it's not a good thing. And anybody who thinks it is, we always say, mild winter, wild summer. So that's just the way it goes.
Okay, well, thank you, New York, for calling in. We do have people waiting, so we have to move on.
Great. Thanks for taking my call. Have a great night.
You're quite welcome, and stay safe over there in New York.
Take care.
Will do.
Okay,
Yeah, take care.
For the people that are calling in, if you're on speakerphone, could you please not be on speaker because we're getting a lot of echo, and it just makes it hard to understand everybody. Now we're going to move on to Southeast Michigan and then Washington. You will be next after that. For the rest of the people that are on the phone, you have to push *8 to raise your hand so I can take you in order. And I know that you want to ask a question or whatever. You do have one comment or a question in the comments. This person lives in Columbia, Georgia, and their weather has been entirely different. Was enjoying a beautiful sunrise. There was not much air current, and high winds were pushing higher clouds out. But the sun started to rise, and then the clouds started moving in the other direction. Ruined any chance of sunrise pics that morning, but it dawned on them that the nanoparticles in the trails not only make you sick, but are used to remote control use. Anthony,
I've heard a lot about that nanobot technology and what they're doing with the chemtrails, and I've mentioned over and over again that the compound that they're using this year, I started noticing it back in December, that it was that finer mist that dissipates very quickly but leaves that faint haze over the sky.
Right.
You don't see these big, thick clouds anymore like you did last summer. You know, whatever they're spraying in the sky, it's definitely affecting people around the world in many ways.
Scott, because I had Tony from Canada on, I think it was last week. Maybe it was last week. I'll have to go into my archives. It was either last week or the week before. And we did a show on the nanobots, and he talks about how it affects your body. He took bugs and he burned them underneath a microscope and saw how many nanobots are in a bee or in a grasshopper. And he invented a bucket that you can make where you wrap a coil wire around the outside and you hook it up to the power pack of your laptop. And then you put a solution in it. I don't know. It was, I'd have to go back and listen to the show. Vinegar, there were several things the solution was. And you put your leg in this bucket, and he said you would not believe the stuff that comes out of your body.
Oh, that's just great.
Nanotechnology.
That's just great.
I'll send you a copy of that recording. But let's move on. We got Southeast Michigan's next. Washington will be next. Then guest 64, you're third. So let's move on. Southeast Michigan, do you have a question?
Scott, did you get my email? I sent you that photo.
What's your name?
This is Saving Humanity again. John, I was just on the line just a couple callers ago.
I'd have to go back and check. I was just telling another viewer that as of lately I've been getting inundated with emails to the tune of about 1,000 emails a day. I'm only really able to go through anywhere from 150 to 200 of them a day. So what's your first name again?
John.
What's your email address? I'll have to.
I went to your Facebook and I sent it through that way, through the email.
Oh, okay. Well, my Facebook's been suspended for the last 30 days. I haven't been able.
But it went to your email.
Facebook's suspended. Yeah, I can't respond to nothing on Facebook. Not my personal page, my Planet X page. I think I have like another 10 days of this stupid Mark Zuckerberg fake news suspension crap.
They're spanking anybody that talks about Planet X.
Yeah, I seen that too. That whole fake news where people could choose what's the fake news.
They're calling it fake news. So
I keep making announcements on my videos and things that my Planet X Facebook page it's still up and running, but I can't post anything. I can't reply to anything. I can't answer any messages, and it's pretty sad.
I sent you an email
because well, like I said, I get 1,000 emails a day. I probably could use someone to go through these emails for me, but I try to get through, like I said, about 150 to 200 of them a day in the course of my day, and it's been really, really crazy over the last couple of weeks. And then a few weeks before that, Google did all of my emails, 6,300 emails. They deleted all of it out of my email.
Yeah.
So they basically
find yourself a girlfriend.
No.
Yeah, she'll go
Southeast
through the email
Michigan,
for
we
you.
do have to move on. We have other people waiting. Scott, you'll just have to wait till Scott can get to your message.
All right.
Okay, Washington. Welcome to the show. You have a call or a question or a comment for Scott?
Yes, I do. It's Mike in Washington State. Matter of fact, I live pretty close to Mount Rainier. I'm kind of worried about that. But other than that, what I wanted to ask Scott was if he thinks this is going to be an extinction level event, because I've been researching this for since the beginning of last summer, and I've sent him several pictures that I believe he's posted some of them on a show last summer. But I was just wondering, do you think this is going to be extinction level? Because from what I'm researching and what I'm seeing, it's kind of looking that way.
Well, I mean, there are so many variables, and trust me, I think about the topic that you've just mentioned. I actually lose sleep over it. I mean that because I know the areas on this planet that are at most risk. And I also know and understand the possibilities of things that could occur. And, I don't want to freak people out and alarm them, but there are some things right now on this planet that would and could cause an extinction level event.
Right.
One of the biggest problems is Yellowstone. Yellowstone would be the biggest problem that we have on this planet right now.
Right. I agree.
Impact.
I agree 100%.
What I do worry about, I pay very, very close attention to the state of Washington. Trust me when I say I pay attention to everything going on in that state every single day. And I was just saying earlier that I caught the USGS removing a swarm that was in Seattle the other day.
Oh yeah. I was at work in Bellevue and felt one of the earthquakes the other day, and I told the guys I work with, they've been calling me crazy for probably about a year now, and they're not doing that anymore. Now they're all going, wow, what the hell, and it's like even my wife and my daughters, I'm thinking of how I can save my wife and daughters, I got twin 18-year-old daughters, and it's like, wow, so, and they were basically saying the same thing until now that it's on the mainstream news about the earthquakes and stuff. Finally, I think they all ought to be thrown in jail is what I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I think so too. I think that they should be led straight to the guillotine because, that's just my opinion. That's just I could go on and on about that, but the situation on the west coast of the United States worries me very, very much.
Right.
Over the last we've had these earthquakes in Alaska, the Aleutian Islands, that massive earthquake swarm in southern Alaska, British Columbia, 400 earthquakes.
Yep,
tremors, whatever you want to call them. That concerns me a lot. I don't want to alarm people really, really bad in those areas, but that magma plume, the magma plume that is under, it almost encompasses a third of our country.
Right.
And that puts the entire world at risk if something occurs in Yellowstone. Now, it's not something that would happen immediately, but the ash fallout, the fallout in general from that type of situation would slowly this entire planet over time.
When you breathe ash in, doesn't it get like glass in your lungs?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, depending on the type of volcano it is. But yeah, I think that with all the volcanoes going off worldwide too, that we're looking at a serious situation here. Europe's food crops have been decimated. Here in the United States, our wheat crops and several other ones. It's just one thing after another. It's like.
Yeah,
it's like,
you watch people, food prices are going to skyrocket because of all this flooding and all of the crops they're losing.
Yeah, you're already
seeing 25% of the wheat crop.
Right, and you're already seeing the prices affected in the stores already. So, yeah,
because a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand whenever they go to the store and they buy a product off the shelf, they don't look at the ingredients. Wheat is a byproduct. They use wheat in a lot of things. So just recently, the report just came out. We lost 25% of the wheat production for this country, which means companies that use wheat as a byproduct for their product, they can't make the damn product, so therefore the product's not going to be on the shelf. Or the product's going to be a hell of a lot more expensive, and it's going to become sparse. And Badbaby, you know, you've interviewed Gil Broussard. Gil touched on all of this.
Yeah.
He said that these situations would start to occur, and a lot of the timeline that Gil has set out is pretty much becoming spot on. And with everything that I've researched over the years, it's all following in this straight path right now. The timeline is damn near right on. And I keep repeating myself over and over again, but I have been telling people since December that whenever we move into the month of May, we are going to be moving closer and closer to one of these brown dwarf stars that is in the constellation Libra. It is right between Saturn, but inside of the orbit of Mars, but below the ecliptic of about 1 or 2 degrees. We're moving closer to it. We're moving faster than it is. And with all of the research that our physicist has done, we've actually discovered that there's a very high possibility, very high, that there are multiple objects, substellar objects in our inner solar system, and these objects are directly attracted to the sun, which means, like a magnet, they will move straight towards our sun. That's why we're seeing all of these problems coming from our sun, even though they say that we are in a solar minimum. I don't agree with it. We're not seeing any of the signs of a solar minimum.
No, not at all.
You know, we have so many things right now that are a direct threat to humanity. One of them is our own governments.
Right. They're probably the number one. I'd probably put them number one and Yellowstone number 2.
Are you real close to the ocean side of Washington State?
No, I'm actually about 40 miles from Mount Rainier itself. I'm inland a little bit, but I work in Bellevue. I live in Puyallup, so Bellevue is pretty low elevation, though. But I'm on the east side of the freeway. They say everything on the west side of the freeway is going to be wiped out.
So you're close enough to where the devastation's going to be hitting.
I figure I'll probably be taken out by the pyroclastic flow from Mount Rainier if it erupts.
Well, you know, you need to stock food and water, sweetie. You know, and another thing, if you're close to volcanic ash, you need to get plastic and duct tape so that you can duct tape your windows and your doors. And, you know, because when this starts popping off, you want to make sure that your family's as safe as they can be. You know, I received an email from 2 different places where I buy emergency food from. One is Emergency Essentials, and the other one is Augustin's Foods, and they're all really discounting their food all of a sudden. And I think the reason that they're doing this is because they know the time is short. So they're trying, you know, I mean, they're really having some great sales, especially for Mother's Day. So you might want to check that out.
Well, I've been doing that for quite some time. I get food grade barrels from my work, and I've been loading up on water and everything else. And I've actually, the past month or so, I've been enclosing underneath my bedroom of my house and basically building a earthquake-proof bunker. Or
there you go.
What I can do to help myself and my family is what I'm doing.
Right.
You know,
because when the emergency time hits, you're going to want to be prepared. You know, I mean, you're not going to be stand there and go, oh, wow, I ran out of duct tape and I only got half of my windows taped up, you know.
Well, yeah, and like I told my wife, and, you know, I said, you know, the problem is going to be you're going to have a bazillion people armed running around looking for food and water. That's what scares me the most, I think.
That is a scary thing. Okay, honey. Well, thank you for calling in. We do have to move on.
Okay, thank you.
Make sure you have bullets.
Hey,
We are going to be out here. Scott's going to be back out here in a couple weeks, so you're more than welcome to call back.
I will definitely do that. Thanks for all the help, Scott. I've been watching you religiously, and I've learned a ton from you. And you're spot on.
Thank you. You take care.
You too.
Okay. Hold on now. We've got two people that have raised their hands. Skywatcher, you're next. Then Guest 64, you'll be next. But before we move on to that, I do have a question in the chat. Somebody had asked me that I had touched on the frequencies and how it's affecting everyone, and could I talk about that a little bit more? I'm going to tell you what I know about this and what I've been noticing, and I've been noticing a lot of people are real edgy, and a lot of people have been contacting me and telling me that they're having problems sleeping at night. One of the things I would suggest is I learned a lot about the frequency thing with the pole shift through Dolores Cannon. And Dolores said that when the pole shift happens, the frequency level is going to raise. And if you don't go with it, your body is going to, like, reject it. So this is why people are all, wah, you know. So what you got to do is, like I said, do those detox fasts and listen to music. Try to keep yourself calm. If you feel yourself getting edgy, stay away from power drinks like Scott drinks Red Bull. Don't drink that garbage. And, you know, try to calm yourself down. Listen to calming music. Classical music is good. That'll raise your frequency. But, you're going to have to, because your body is trying to adjust to what's happening to the planet. So, you're just going to have to try to deal with it. But those detox fasts will help. And like I said, just try to keep yourself in a calm state. Do things that calm yourself down because you want to stay. Yeah, you don't want to be all nervous and edgy. Stay away from caffeine.
Yeah, meditation is something that a lot of people should learn. If you listen to David Wilcock, and when we're talking about this rising to a higher frequency is what you want to do. I've been listening to David Wilcock for a long time.
Right. And there are a lot of YouTube videos for meditation out there. Go into YouTube. One of the videos that you're going to want to look up is to align your chakras. You just sit there and you go from head to toe, aligning your chakra. And that will help a lot with the transition. And stay away from people that are crabby. Okay, we're going to move on to Skywatcher. Welcome to the show, Skywatcher. You have a question or a comment for Scott?
I have a couple of comments. First off, hey, Scott, how's it been?
Hey, what's happening?
Lots happening, brother. Lots happening. First thing I wanted to chime in and let you guys know, there was a report earlier about 74 countries hacked. I wanted to make sure you guys were aware that number's up to 99. We've got 99 countries worldwide that have been hacked. And this is something that gets into the servers and tells the people if they want to access any of their programs, they have to pay a certain amount of money. If they don't pay that amount of money within 24 hours, that amount of money doubles. And it'll continue to do that for 7 days. On the 7th day, if it's not resolved, it will wipe out all of the data that is in that system.
Well, that's just great.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that.
I knew something like this was going to happen eventually. I knew somebody was going to, or some organization was going to try to take advantage of this situation, or the government doing it.
So I don't know if you've seen the picture yet, but we've got a picture of remember the popular picture that was put out quite a while ago of the red image with the kind of the star or the cross in space? Probably the most popular image that we have to dealing with Nibiru. Well, that image, we're able to match that up, and we figured out what all the comet names were. Can you guys hear me okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of an echo.
Yeah, I can hear you. You might need to.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure you guys can hear me okay. I've got important information for you guys. I just wanted to make sure you could hear it.
Go ahead.
Hear you.
Okay. So right now, as far as things lie, like Scott said, we are moving closer to this system. Scott, I'll send you a picture. And are you able to access Messenger still?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I still have a suspension. I still have a suspension on my my Facebook.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's probably why you haven't received it yet. I've sent you a lot of stuff in Messenger.
Yeah, I can't get to it. I can't get to anything. They've I don't know why they just suspended my account for 30 days. My personal account, my Planet X account. I think I have like 10 more days.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess in 10 days, then you'll get to see that picture. I know you get way too many emails. You'll never find it.
It's been a real pain. Yeah, it's been a real pain. Believe me. You know, they knew exactly how to take me down, and that's exactly what they wanted to do. And they've done the same thing to my YouTube channels also.
Yeah. You guys have been crystal clear still until I got on and started giving you guys information, and now I can barely hear you guys at all.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, honey. They're really trolling us tonight.
Hey, you know what? As long as you guys tell me that you can hear what I'm telling you, then I'm thrilled. That's all that matters is getting this information out.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, wonderful. I can hear you. I can hear you clear. Scott's a little broken up, but I can hear you clear. The comet names, I don't know if you guys were aware yet, but the outer comet names that they gave to the system were Elenin, which I found out that Elenin actually, if it's true, you know, we have to take everything kind of with a grain of sand, don't we? But what I found out that Elenin was supposed to stand for is extinction level event, Nibiru is near. And the front and back into, yeah, the points on the cross are Elenin, and then the name that they have for Nibiru is US-10. If you remember the comet flyby, the Nibiru flyby that I caught, the very first video I put out on YouTube was it that was it. Yeah. And then I'll have to look and see what the other one's name was. But yeah, if you look for the Elenin comets, I think it's 2012, 2013, 2015, and the other one I believe is 2017. It shouldn't be very hard to find them. When you find them and see that cross pattern and everything, it'll throw you for a loop for a second.
So, could anybody hear me? Could you hear me good now or not? Because for some reason,
now I can hear
the microphone keeps getting turned down.
Huh.
Yeah, you're coming in clear now, Scott. Okay, Skywatcher, is that
I've just turned my microphone up. What
I'm
the hell is going on?
I'm going to get back to the babies. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you when I can.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us.
All right, buddy, you got it.
Call back when Scott's back out here again. Okay, we're going to move on to guest 64. welcome to the call. Do you have a question or a comment for Scott?
Oh, I always do, my dear. How are you?
Hi, cutie patootie. How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully, by the way. Scott, you know, I as always, I follow everything you do, my brother. You know, I've been in the position you were. I feel my heart goes out to you being decimated on YouTube with everybody else across the board, man. That's just another tactic by the powers that be to, you know, demonetize the whole system. So they hope that you all go away. But I know guys like you do not go away, and that's what they don't understand. By the way, is that their demonetizing process has no effect on reality and truth. And I got to commend you, man. And I got to commend the physicist and Chris Potter. I mean, you guys are doing a fantastic job of just pushing through the nonsense, pushing through their agenda to keep bringing the information forward. And you say, you know what, and I love you for this, man. You say, I don't care. I just don't care. And it was wonderful what you said. I think it was today, or you recorded it maybe earlier or yesterday. I don't remember. But you said, yeah, give me the platform. Give me a stadium. And I will push this information forward to everybody. It was today then. Yeah. that was fantastic, man. I was like, that's right. That's absolutely right, because those monsters don't want anybody to hear the truth, because they want everybody to die in place. This has been their whole agenda from the get-go. When they started building the underground bases and building the seed vaults and now the file vaults, going back, in I think it was 97 or 98, when they so gallantly presented us with we're going to preserve our seeds. I mean, what a joke, man. Yeah, when Zachariah Sitchin had already come out with the 12th planet long before that, and Dr. Robert Harrington had already, back in 1983, saying, yeah, we found Planet X. The last thing we need to do is just name it. And he just accidentally died, with esophageal cancer. Yeah, it's beyond belief. But there have been so many other people, Scott, who have been eliminated through this whole process unfortunately, but not unfortunately, just old age, death, but a lot of scientists, okay, from all communities of the science background have been shut down, shut up, or eliminated because of these people who have control of the monetary system. But you know what? There's a great thing happening right now, brother, and I think you're pretty well aware of it. There's that, like how these monsters have created the breakaway civilization, right, through the technology that they captured going back to 1947 and probably prior to that. But we're having our own breakaway civilization in the monetary system, which is the cryptocurrencies, by the way, because they can't control it. So we do have a little bit of an upper hand on this whole thing, brother. So we're seeing an explosion in all these technologies happening. Now I understand, and I know, and I'm kind of in this whole thing because I've been doing this as long as you have, Scott. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to not as long as, but I'm going to say half the time as long as you've been doing this. What I'm seeing is that they're very afraid that when this object comes out from its perihelical, transitionary elliptical orbit, okay, they think that they're going to run away and hide and, let mayhem happen. But I don't think that's really going to happen. What I'm seeing is this. I'm seeing a transitionary period, brother, okay? With all these cryptos, we're breaking away from their controlled monetary system, and I think possibly, and this is my perspective because I've been following you a long time, okay? And believe me, I'm in your camp when it comes to the ideology of what we have been seeing physically transpire on the planet. But I personally believe that's not going to be as bad as these propagandists. And I'm talking about the ones who have promoted the idea that this whole thing, okay, this whole society they've created is still going to be under the control and we're going to be totally wiped out. What I'm seeing is a transitionary period into an illuminated society. Now, not to say that, and this is for everybody listening, and then I want to get your opinion on all this, Scott. For this transitionary period that we're seeing, I don't think it's going to be as bad as we think it's going to be, brother. And we will have the upper hand, and that is the true transition, the shift that we're going to see in the new transformation of humanity.
I think you're spot on. I don't think we're, the last gentleman was, excuse me, he was talking about, extinction level. I think we're a tough species as human beings. I don't think we're going to be extinct. But I know that we're definitely going to be moving into some very trying times as a species, as human beings. There's no doubt about that. And like I mentioned today on our broadcast with the physicist, it's going to come to the point where you can't do it on your own. You can't survive on your own. You're going to need help. It doesn't matter what type of help. So, in order for us to be successful, mankind has to band together. You have to forget about the color of your skin. You have to forget about your religions. You have to forget about all of the nonsense and understand that we're all human beings. We all have the same color of blood flowing through our veins. And if people do not stick together and they do not stop with the nonsense, then going through whatever we're going to go through is going to be that much harder. And you will lose the game. You will lose the game. And I'm sorry I have to use that word, but just, that's basically how it is. You're going to need some help. And I wanted to go back to what you were saying in the beginning. And I had someone leave a comment in the comment section of our live stream this morning with the physicist. And the gentleman said, what are you and the doctor doing to take this to a bigger platform to reach more people? And I've been keeping this under tabs for a little while. And that's when I mentioned the stadium. Put me in there with 100,000 people. Give me the Jumbotron.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll turn 100,000 people into believers right then and there. But they are censoring my YouTube channel. They've been doing it for over 6 months now. And I have several channels. I try to stay ahead of them, but their algorithms. That's all they have to do is change my algorithm with my channel, and that's it. So that's one of the reasons why I opened up the X Factor radio show on Blog Talk Radio.
Which, by the way, I love,
working
Scott.
slow. Yeah, it's been working out. I haven't done any live broadcasts on it yet because I've been so busy with everything going on, but they have a great analytical program behind it. And it shows me all of the countries that are tuning in. Now, I'm blocked from a lot of countries through YouTube, but Blog Talk Radio doesn't block anything. I have people right now in 5 countries, Africa, that are listening to me. I have people that are listening to me in China and now all over Eastern Europe again because they blocked me from YouTube. Okay, they've blocked me. Half of my subscribers don't even see my videos. They don't get any notifications. They can't even tune in to listen to the information. So Blog Talk is going to be a much broader platform. But about a month ago, and this is going to be the first time that everybody hears this, and the trolls are going to love this. But about a month ago, I was contacted by the Alex Jones show.
Sweet.
You know, a few years back, Alex Jones he did do a segment on Planet X. And he's real adamant about it. And
that's right, with Bob Fletcher. That's right.
And he shied away from it, and then the election crap came aboard with Clinton and Trump, and then for the next year and a half, that's all you heard on Alex Jones. A lot of people don't like him. They have their opinions of him, blah, 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 whatever. But the man has 2 million viewers on YouTube. And we have an invitation with the physicist to come on and do a 2-hour beginning segment full with, she's written over 115 reports, professional reports. She is now turning out one report every other day.
Scott, I've watched most of that, and she's spot on, man. She is a smart cookie.
Yeah, there is no doubt. This woman's level of education is absolutely, I am amazed by her every time we have conversations. And, she's 6 hours ahead of me. And, I get up at, like around midnight, and we have about a 4-hour video conference over tons of information, everything on stereo, on SETI, on the SDO, things from NOAA, NASA. We're going over all of this information in a 3 to 4 hour period every single day in the middle of the night for me. And it's paying off because we are catching a lot of things that are very, very important. And, she's giving the scientific observation of what we're finding, and none of it is good.
No, I know.
You don't have these platforms where people can listen to you. And, right now I should have half of the world listening, but that will never happen. That will never happen.
Can I throw this
out there, Scott? There's a lot of people that are. You even mentioned this, and they're like, "Oh, that's all bunk," So you can't, just like you can't force someone to love you can't force someone to think.
But can I throw this caveat in, Scott? I want to throw this into you, my brother, because I have so much respect for what you do. Here's a narrative that maybe you and the physicists can take into consideration that the Native American people knew of this as well as, of course, the Asian countries as well. They talked about the red dragon because maybe they saw it as the red dragon at the time. But the Native American people talked about the red and blue kachina. Now, what really gave me an impression today, Scott, is when you put up those photos. And I'm not talking about the inverted photos, which they were all relative, by the way. They're all relatively succinct in what you did. And I'm sorry you blinded yourself doing that. But, man, what you captured was extraordinary. But what really blew me away when I was watching what you had put up, okay, what really blew me away was the not the photo negative, okay? Guys, go to Scott's videos, go to Planet X News or Planet X 2016, the Awakening. It's the Awakening, right, Scott? I mean, I've had you on my channel so long I don't remember both of your channels. But I just click on them and just watch. So, but what really blew me away was the cold bluish photograph with the stripes going around this planetary body, which told me, okay, and it touched me. Something triggered it in me, saying, okay, what I think Scott captured is the blue Kachina. Now there's the blue Kachina and there's the red Kachina. Now, what that would indicate or trigger my thought process is that the Hopis talked about, right, Scott? They talked about a dual binary dwarf system. Two. What has the doctor talked about? Not one, but two or maybe three binary dwarfs in our system. That's what triggered my consciousness to say, okay, there's something really real to this whole thing, brother. And it made the hairs on the back of my head stand up.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you guys, we've only got 15 minutes left on this show, and we still got another caller, so we're going to have to move on.
Okay, well, I'll get off, and I wanted to hear Scott's thought process on what I just mentioned. And thank you, my dearest. And maybe we'll talk after the show.
Okay, I'll be up. Give me a call.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, it sounds good, brother. You take care.
You too, Scott.
Okay, you want to answer him, Scott?
Take care, buddy.
Do you have a reply?
Yeah, I mean,
to
like
that?
I said, as far as I wish I had this bigger platform to inform a lot of people.
I wish you did too.
My main goal is, I mean, right now it is so hard for me, and it is a daily struggle. Step ahead.
You're breaking up again.
We are going to. Yeah, it's the internet. It's this damn internet crap.
Okay, that sounds a little better. Let's move on. Hawaii.
But, I mean, if
Hawaii has been waiting very patiently. So let's get
we're going to throw them on there.
Welcome to the call, Hawaii. How are you this evening, honey?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
Well, we're doing just mighty fine over here in Michigan.
Wow. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate all the work that Scott, you, the physicist, Mr. Potter himself, I just, we love him. And if it wasn't for you guys, we would probably be in the dark. So I just want to say thank you for the good job that you guys do. And
you inspire us.
Yes, you totally inspire us. We take pictures.
Around the world.
We take pictures, and I've actually called in before, and I believe spoke with Scott on a live stream about the Earth tilt back in November of 2016. Just
yes,
everything.
I remember.
Yeah, awesome. And I worry about you when you don't come on there. It's like, whoa, where's Scott? I like to have my coffee and listen to you guys in the morning. So fabulous job on everything that you guys do, and you are totally supported here in Hawaii big time. We try and get the word out. We had a little hope. We had a stranger approach us the other day and asked about if we had noticed the weather patterns and the changes, and we had answered yes, and he proceeded to ask, well, do you know why? And it was kind of cool because he was really interested in knowing why, and we were able to tell him about your channel and about the solar system and ours, and we actually had photos, so we were able to show him videos and photos that we had taken. So it got, I felt that, hey, getting the word out there, there's a hope for these people. They're just uneducated, and knowledge is everything. So knowledge is power. Good job. Yeah,
I really appreciate your words. exactly what you were saying. That is my main goal. My main goal has just basically always been to kind of educate people in the sense that so they know exactly what can occur, because each and every day we're coming up with a lot of variables, things, and getting out there and being able to inform these people. I mean, me and the physicist and Chris, we're actually making discoveries each and every day. We made some discoveries the other day. Well, let's just say we're going to be coming out with a report on that tomorrow. The physicist, she is actually finishing up the report because that's how devastating it is. Because right now, I lied to before, but now we are being lied to and cheated.
Yep.
Just wrong. I mean,
it is.
I don't care which way you slice it. It's just wrong.
It is.
And we are all human beings. We're a very complex species. There was a comment made in abduction channels. Well, actually, it was made by Talk and Corey Good. The aliens don't understand us because of our emotions, how complex they are. And that would be the downfall of our emotions.
You're getting garbly again, Scott.
Going up and down, I'm having to literally hold. Yeah, somebody's doing something here because literally my microphone volume is going up and down by itself right in front of my face.
You're getting zapped from a handheld weapon, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally holding it at 100, and as soon as I start to talk, it drops all the way down. So I'm literally trying to do it by hand on my computer screen right now. I mean, I'm live streaming this to everyone on my channel, and they're watching what I'm doing.
Oh, man.
Trying to keep my microphone volume up.
They can constantly keep us under attack. We just have to. People have to be patient and try to bear with us and endure what we do out here. And just try to understand that these things happen.
I have a perfect example of what you're saying.
Yeah, and the bad.
And it was about the chemtrails. My friend had taken some pictures of some chemtrails at Yosemite the other night, and I had posted them. We hadn't had any chemtrails in a couple of days, and as soon as I posted them, it's just chemtrails now. And yeah, they censor every little thing that's going on through the internet and being said, and you guys are under constant attack, and it's horrible. But keep fighting. We're there with you. We got to get it out there, just like you said.
And you know what? You know how many people would watch and tune in if you got a network brave enough that you could pitch a debate between you and any NASA scientist they choose, one-on-one, whether this planet is real or it's not. It would be watched. People all over the country would watch it, millions. It wouldn't be crazy. Truth, it's already out. Because
me, I would take them on. Me, I would take them on in a heartbeat. I mean, I'm not an educated scientist or physicist, but, with what I know and what I've been investigating for all of these years, and the evidence that I have right now, the evidence for what is happening is overwhelming. Yeah. If we were to court of law, okay, and based on evidence, I would win every time.
Miles.
Yeah.
I mean, the issue is getting the word out to more and more people, and that is where they are stopping me and many, many others.
But I think
And I
you've
told
reached critical
her
mass.
there is absolutely.
Scott, that they wouldn't be going to these great extents to target us and to interrupt our calls and do all the interruptions that they do on your microphone if we weren't telling the truth. They're trying to stop the truth from getting out there.
It's already out there because of people like you.
Yeah.
It's too late for them. It's
We got to keep trying, though, and good job.
Keep doing it. We love you.
Well, we appreciate.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there are some days. Oh, this damn microphone! I'm ready to smash
Okay,
this
you're better
computer
now,
into
honey.
the ground.
Go.
But it's the problem that I face every day with trying to beat technology, trying to beat them. I am one man. I am one man fighting against an entire army.
But
I
you
know a
have
lot of people
many
don't
warriors
understand
to
that,
back
and a
you.
lot of. But I know a lot of people don't see what I do in my day-to-day. I just don't sit behind a computer and make funny YouTube videos. In the course of my day, it begins around 11:30 or 12 a.m. so I can get on a video conference with the physicist, and we literally go over 3 or 4 hours. So, I mean, you want to refer to this as being a job. Well, this is not only my job, but this is a calling.
It's a calling.
We had a talk about this the other day, and she said, all of the time that she has spent in school, in knowledge, building her knowledge. The 17 years of teaching, okay, that is your calling. Lecturing, that's your calling. And me, I've been going through life, I've done it all. There's very few things out there in this world that I haven't done. One of them, which I won't do. But we were talking the other day, and we were both saying with each other, doing right now, this is my calling. This is her calling. This is what God put us here for.
Amen.
So, not to enjoy the rest of my life. I'm 49 years old. I'm retired from work already.
Awesome.
Okay? So, like I've said before, I should be out fishing. I should be out, riding my Harley. I should be out enjoying my life. But right now, over the past several years and the last year that has gone by, almost all of it dedicated to this research and finding out the truth. Some people respect that. Some people couldn't give a care less.
I can't even ride my Harley anymore, Scott. They try to run me down. They chase me down the road. I swear to God, they try to kill me. They try to kill me. I didn't even put a plate on my bike this year because of what they did to me last year.
Oh, my word.
Wow.
I've had 2 animals.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had poison put in my food. I've had poison put in my shampoo and burned my head. You name it. I mean, they've done it to me.
That's horrible, and I believe it. That's how they are. They do not want this information out there in any way. And getting the information is hard. The physicist does such a great job on breaking it down, as Chris would say, to where we can understand it. And she is absolutely fabulous in what she does. You guys take a lot, and good. Just stay in there. Stay in there. Don't let them stop you from what Scott, like you're saying, like you're calling. This dropped on us about a year and a half ago. You're the one that got us into this, and we have gotten many videos and many pictures and we've learned a lot on our way too, you know, and we've also learned that the more you post, the more that you're censored. So I totally get that.
Oh, yeah, they hammer me now.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
No,
it's annoying just my little bit. It annoys me. And so, yeah, it's like, wow, really. So I get that. So you guys, you know, good
well,
job.
I mean, these people are very devious. They've actually ruined a 17-year career of our physicist. Now, a lot of people don't know her personally. She's a very modest, loving individual. She is a Christian, and she is very highly intelligent. And in the beginning, she wasn't used to being dealt out as far as the trolling operation and things of that nature. And then, they saw that we were actually making some headway. The information was getting very critical, so they go on the attack to basically university, tell them what she was doing, and literally turn the university against her, and that's what they've done. Now, I've guided her as much as possible through the legal process, and it's actually working.
Yay!
She's going to be given an early retirement because things in her country they're different than here in the United States.
Right.
Now a lot of the laws are the same, and she does have a very, very good case against the individual here in the United States, which is, that's actually being worked on right now.
Right. Good.
He does have the ability to pay because what he did started, and it was the catalyst, her termination / early retirement to a union. And, they have a union representative and an attorney. They were able to, because there were some very strong points that were set forth by myself that showed clearly this was a very biased situation. What they were doing to her was just plain damn illegal, even in her country. That she's still amazed at how they want to cover this up, becoming more feisty, actually gaining an attitude. Mm-hmm. And everything that she's been through over the course of the last few months, they've been very trying for her.
Absolutely.
And used to. And then something she said the other day whenever we were talking, and she had just come back from her attorney. And I was making her listen to I Am Woman, Hear Me Strong. She never heard that song before.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's the same age as me. But from a different country, and grew up traveling. Helen Reddy. So I shared the screen with her, and it was a YouTube video with the lyrics. Repeat these lyrics. Because this song is about you, and this is where you need to be. This is the attitude that you need to take.
Right.
And we joked about it, and then she started saying the words with Helen Reddy singing in the background, and it sparked some joy in me to see someone rise above and start to stick up for themselves, because you've been put down and pushed down and held down all those years
for no reason.
Whatever doesn't kill her makes her
by the
stronger.
person you share your life with, whatever. whatever your factors are. And then she said to me, you know what? I am so sick of this. No one is going to shut me up. And I saw the look in her eye. She had her little fist clenched, overwhelmed, and I said, there you go. There you go. When you wake up every day, if you have to turn this video on of Helen Reddy and sing these words, then you do it. Keep you down anymore. And
right. I've noticed a difference in her tone.
Yeah, she's getting, maybe it's a little bit of my influence, but, she's starting to see done.
It's their loss. That's all I can say. It's their loss, and because she is so intelligent, and she teaches us so much. We learn so much and can understand it, and it's she's amazing, and it's wrong at what they have done to her, to you. Good job on coaching her and giving her that esteem to rise above and go a little further. Good job. Good job.
Scott, here's something that I always say that I quote all the time, and it's what I say is, I have fallen, I have cried, I've been angry and afraid, but even when I was hurting, I always found a way to keep going. A strong woman never gives up.
Amen. Yes. And you guys all knew you were taking big risks to tell the truth, and so I got to respect and acknowledge that. You're smart. You know they're going to be coming after you, and you still persist, and they won't ever shut you up, no matter what it costs. And I just want to personally thank you for the courage that you're doing.
Well, we appreciate you guys standing behind us. And I had somebody ask me in the chat if they could call in. So if you got the time, Scott, can we take this last call? Scott, did I lose?
It was a pleasure. Thank you, guys, and aloha.
Thank you from Hawaii. Thanks for the support, you guys. Stay safe out there.
Aloha.
I think I lost Scott. I don't know. He's not answering, but I will see if I can handle this call. Hi, honey. You wanted to make a comment or a question? I think we lost Scott.
Oh no. Yeah, I was adding to that about Yellowstone. It's a little bit more drastic and bigger than most people think, and I mean, most of the fallout maps they show, they have the rim of it being only, the blast radius is between 300 and 450 miles. That's just the initial blast. The pyroclastic flows, they go out to like 600 miles. But when I was reading about the 1811 earthquakes, and I'm doing all my research, they said that they have it recorded that the pyroclastic flows reached across the ocean to Japan.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
One of the things that Edgar Casey says, and I've done a lot of research with Edgar Casey, is that right before the pole shift happens, the island of Japan will fall into the sea. And I have been reading data that Fukushima is falling into the sea.
Yes. Yeah. When can you if you think about radioactive material or any kind of radioactive isotope that's breaking down, that's got a shelf life of I think it's 1.2 million years or something like that, depending on what if it's plutonium or uranium. But if it seeps down into the fault, it would be just like setting off a nuclear explosion. If it reaches magmatic level, I mean, it's going to be like a nuclear chain reaction. It's like a mini thermonuclear reaction underground.
Well,
and I guess
that's going to be good. You know, I basically think that the when the crust breaks loose from the core, that I think that, you know, there's going to be a whole lot of shaking going on this planet.
Oh, yes.
And I look at it this way. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to worry about whether I make it through it or I don't, because I have no fear of going to the other side.
We just got to have faith. That's all we got to do.
That's it. You know, keep yourself in best health as you can, and keep your spiritual house in order, and whatever happens, happens. I've always been a wild kind of woman. I've drove every kind of vehicle they have on this planet. I've drove semi, I've drove motorcycles, I've drove boats, and
yes.
I'm sure I can hang on to this planet and ride it out too.
Oh, yes.
So,
was that Scott I heard?
Pardon me?
I thought I heard Scott.
Scott, are you with us? No, he's not.
Oh, no.
He must have gotten knocked out. And in order for me to get him back in, I got to hang up both this window, because I patch him in through my phone. And
right.
Since we're going to close out anyways, I don't see the point.
Right.
The only thing is he's live streaming on YouTube, so he's probably over there closing that out right now.
Yeah.
Oh, like I said, we got one more person that wants to ask a question. Well, like I said, Scott's going to be back out here in a couple weeks, and he will post it up, and I post it up on all the Nubaru groups out there on Facebook. So, just keep watch for when he comes back, and you'll be able to call back in.
Okay.
Thank you, honey, for your information.
To remind Scott of those emails.
I think it's Nubaru Planet X or something. You know where his Facebook page is, right?
Yes, I've sent him through Google Mail. So, I mean, but he gets so many of them. I don't want him to get lost in translation with all the other emails I'm flooding in.
I don't know his email by heart because I talk to him on the phone all the time. I got to be honest. Okay, honey, well, listen, I got one more person that wants to speak, so I'm going to mute you back, and thank you for calling in, though. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right, West Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah, I was just wanted to tell you, I had Scott on the Roku. He got knocked off. They knocked him off. And he just said...
I kind of figured they did.
Yeah, they did. He just says, well, there's nothing I can do. They knocked me off, and I'm just going to go ahead and sign out. So I just thought I'd let you know.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I kind of figured that's what he would be doing. Like I said, if it was in the middle of the show, I would hang up, but I got to hang up and dial back into my show, and then I got to dial into his show, and it's just a big process.
I mean, it's a shame that you have to go through all this,
Okay, somebody posted Scott's email. It's NubaruPlanetX2016@gmail.com. So it's there in the chat if you want to copy and paste it. Thank you so much, Pennsylvania, for joining in tonight and letting me know that he signed off. I'll just give him a call tomorrow. And I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the show. And you stay safe over there in West Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Every
I'll
day.
keep you in my prayers.
And I'll keep you in mind, too.
Thank you, dear. Good night.
God bless you.
Like I said, everybody, you stay safe out there.